All right, our attention is going to shift to the Minnesota Vikings, who, honestly, well, they lost people. They lost people. They had unfortunate news of losing J.J. McCarthy, their number one overall draft pick, who was supposed to be the QB of the future after losing Kirko Chains to the Atlanta Falcons. He's gone for the year, so plug in Sam Darnold and see where it rides, man. This is just an unfortunate franchise. It's been, amassed by injuries or trades or giving up on players too soon, and they pay the price for it. They pay the price. I'm sad for Justin Jefferson. I'm sad for Jordan Addison's growth. What's going to happen here? I think they'll still play the way they need to. I think Justin Jefferson will still be the number one receiver at the end of the year. I think he'll still have great numbers because no matter who he throws or who throws it to him, he's still going to get his grabs and his yards. He's just that guy. He's the new Jerry Rice over here of this generation. So, but this is a Vikings team that has it rough. It's a lot of questions, and I don't know where to even start with the depth chart. But before I get there, you got the 7-10 record last year, 2-6 at home, 4-5-4 away, 2-4 division. They scored 344 points. They gave up 362 respectively. They were fifth in passing yards, of course, 256.4 yards, 29th in rushing. They had 91.4. 22nd in points for with 20.2, and 14th in points against with 21.3. It's not bad. Yeah, it's a team that's got a kind of a hard schedule, man. Definitely not going to be easy on them, and I am a little afraid for what's to come with this team. Even though they have some really positive aspects to their roster, there's just a lot of things where I'm like, can they work it out? Will they be able to put up um, will they be able to put up W's on the board? Um, it's tough. It's a tough division. The Bears got better. The Packers and Lions are the tops of the NFC North, and it's just the Vikings now that are last, and it sucks, dude. But that's how it is. Start with the roster, huh? We got left tackle Christian Darrisaw, who's number 9 on the left tackle list. He's a solid guy. Young, definitely good pass protector. Definitely getting better with the more he's playing in the league. Definitely going to be better this year. So I have some positives about being able to protect the QB, and I think he's going to be great. Dalton Reisner, I know that he's injured. Think for what, a couple weeks, I believe. I'm not really too sure if he's starting the season. He's still sidelined right now, but this is a guy that's going to be in the roster, so I'm not about to put Brendel in there for the full year. So we're going to go with Dalton Reisner, and he was voted number 9, a left guard. So I mean, he's super deserving of where he's going. Great pulling guard, great run blocker. Definitely helps with the double teams that they got going on with some of the best pass rushers in the league. Definitely going to need him to be healthy and to suit up every Sunday. At center, they got Garrett Bradbury, who's underrated. He wasn't ranked, no honorable mention, but it's a guy that can be up there, honorable mention, relevant, maybe even top 10. Mostly honorable mention, though. It's a guy that they have an anchor for. They've had him since he got drafted there, and he's been reliable. Um, Definitely hasn't been. Um, he hasn't been a liability. So I mean, overall, you got to give it to the guy. Maybe cut on the penalties here, but overall, Bradbury, I think he's a solid guy at center. Right guard's going to be Ingram. Again, a young right guard. Definitely someone that's going to learn on their Dalton Reisner. And honestly, a positives there. So, and then to close it out, Brian O'Neill, number 6 on the right tackle list. Great tackle. Um, definitely, definitely will be helping Darisaw in his progression and his development. Definitely have 2 good tackles, which is really good to see, especially when you have uncertainties at the QB position. So overall, that is nice, man. The QB is going to be Sam Darnold, most likely, um, who I have no faith in. He is, oh man, he is god awful. He is absolutely terrible at reads, terrible at just leading the charge. I mean, this is a good time for him to showcase what he's about and that he hasn't been a bust. And it was all because of the schemes and the teams he's been around. I think he's got the weapons to do well, but he's not a starting QB in my eyes. if obviously JJ McCarthy healthy, he's going to start. So, but overall, Darnold give him the ball. He does have the luxury of having running back Aaron Jones, who's number 9. His fumbling is a problem, but I mean Aaron Jones is still has been a pretty good foundation for Green Bay. So moving him to Minnesota, that's great. They've been needing a running back, and they got him in Aaron Jones. I think that's a great pickup for him. Receivers, I mean Justin Jefferson, enough said, number 1 receiver in the league. The Jerry Rice of our generation. I mean, yeah, fantastic player. Addison, honorable mention. Um, yeah, he's another guy who came out definitely looking like a good duo with Jefferson and him. I like Jordan Addison a lot. I think he's gonna be great. And then you got Naylor, who is unproven and he's young. So I mean, we'll see how he does in the slot. I think he'll be learning through two of the best receivers. So that's good for him. At the tight end, you got the third best tight end, and T.J. Hawkinson when he is healthy. He'll be missing a few weeks. I'm still putting him on there because he will play. Um, I mean, come on now. See, T.J. Hawkinson is a boss. He's been a boss since he's been in Detroit, and just a great receiving tight end, dude. A person that they're gonna miss the first few weeks. I think after that they'll pick it up with the offense. T.J. Hawkinson is gonna be great value to them, especially when Jefferson's over here triple teamed or some shit, or Jordan Addison isn't, is getting locked up a little bit from some good corners. You're going to have a chance with Hawk, and he's a great red zone target. Um, and then, of course, they have CJ Ham at the fullback, who is one of the best fullbacks in the league. There's not many of them, but CJ Ham, pretty reliable. Defensive wise, they run a 3-4 base. They have Jerry Tillery, who is a veteran, uh, and I mean, I'm not gonna say he's really good, but I mean he's reliable because he's a veteran. He's been playing for a while, so it's good leadership. They got Harrison Phillips, who's an honorable mention. He's a great D tackle who honestly almost made this list of top 10. So I mean overall, I mean he had a solid year. I think he's gonna have a solid year for him. And then you have Bullard, who is a young D end, unproven. I mean it's just kind of questions all around the D line. So will they get ran over? Time will tell. When you look at the linebackers, I mean you got Cashman at the right hand side and Pace on the left hand side. Two guys that are decently young. Definitely think that they'll make some impact on the team. They're not terrible. They're not a liability. They're all right. Pace has more potential than Cashman does in terms of the playing. Definitely could see Pace doing some good things this year for them because they will need that. When you go to the outside linebackers, you got Jonathan Grenard, who they picked up. He was number 7 as a DN, so he's moving to outside, which is his original position he got drafted in. I mean, they lost Daniil Hunter, which is a huge loss, but they gained Jonathan Grenard, who can and will sack the QB. So good thing on them for that. And then Van Ginkel, who can get pretty good coverage and can make some tackles. At the corners, they got a veteran in Stephon Gilmore. I mean, ex NFL Defensive Player of the Year, so well known there. Shaquille Griffin, a veteran corner who's done it before in Seattle, so that's a good thing. With Byron Murphy being the nickelback, who had a great year this past year, and I think he's really good and excellent. Along with Bynum at free safety, who was an honorable mention, or Cameron Bynum, who's an honorable mention, and he's been pretty good, man. I think he's got an excellent chance of having a great year. With Harrison Smith, who's at his age is still killing it. He was number 4 on the list for strong safeties. He's still going to kill it. He's still at his age just hitting people like it's nothing. He's like a brick wall at 35. For the kicker, they got Richard, who is a young guy, so unproven, don't know much about him. Wright at their punter, don't know much about him, and Chandler at their kick returner, who's been okay and decent. So again, there's a lot of things here that are nice. They have some veteran leadership now. It's just a matter of will this all tie in? Will they be okay when it comes to the regular season? I mean, are they going to be too slow, or are they just going to be too inexperienced? And defensively, it's scaring me more. Offensively, I mean, I could work with that. I think Sam Darnold can work with that. But defensively, I feel like they're a liability. So we're looking at the schedule for the Vikings. Obviously, the schedule it'll test them for sure. Looking at what they got. First of all, week one against the Giants, I think the Vikings will win that game. I think they'll have enough to showcase out there. And then I just think that this whole schedule just throughout the first 5 weeks or so, it's just really terrible, dude, for their luck because of JJ McCarthy. I'm basing this off of Sam Darnold's performance in the past and just in general their inexperience as a team. They're definitely losing to the Niners. They're definitely losing to the Texans. Definitely going to lose to Green Bay. When they play the Jets, they'll lose to the Jets. They'll have a bye at 1-4. Then they'll lose to the Lions. They'll lose to the Rams. They'll lose to the Colts. They'll lose to the Jaguars. It's just, yeah, they're just not. They're not ready for a great year. To be honest, I just don't believe in the Sam Darnold train. I also just don't know about this roster. Finally, they'll get a win against the Tennessee Titans. They'll lose to the Bears in Chicago. They'll beat the Cardinals, lose to the Falcons. They will beat the Bears the second time they meet. They will lose to the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. They'll lose to Green Bay. And to finish the season out, they're going to lose to Detroit. So overall, um, it's a team that was 7-10. It's a team that I'm not trying to downgrade here. Like I'm not trying to say that they are awful, but they're losing JJ McCarthy. They definitely can use a couple pieces to be relevant. They're in an NFC North division. They're in the NFC in general, which is talented and got better. And besides the couple guys that I'm like, yeah, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, like the offensive wise, Hawkinson, Jones, defensive wise is just so unpredictable. Just because I don't know much about them. I like the safeties. I like the D tackle, and I can honestly say I like Grenard. Uh, but a lot of these guys, I'm just not sure of if they're ready for it. I don't know. They might put up some great numbers. They might surprise me. But yeah, the 4-13 is a reasonable record for me for this team. Like I said, they're just in a really bad spot. Their schedule is not easy, and yeah, they're not looking like a team that is gonna make a splash for the postseason this year. So 4-13, and JJ McCarthy needs to come back and show us something.